Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Noah here with Custom RC Mods, and today, as you can see, we have the HobbyZone Champ right here on the bench, and I'm going to run you guys through some repairs I did to this. I was meaning to make a full video on me doing the repairs in real time for you, but they're pretty self-explanatory. I went ahead and did them. It took me not more than half an hour to get this thing back up and airworthy, and don't mind this FPV gear. If you probably already saw, I did do an installation video for that. We're going to be running some FPV on here, but the nice thing is that it's plug and play. I can just take this off, unplug everything, and we are good to go in that sense. However, I just want to talk about these repairs that I made before we go out and fly it. You can see the main damage is we're from the horizontal and vertical stabilizers right here. There's tape and stuff all over them, and basically the main reinforcement thing that I did was put tape on each side that's lined up with each other. If you guys have ever built with foam board, you know that the way that the foam board gets so strong is because of the tension on the paper on each side. So I kind of did the same thing with tape right here. I put a piece of tape on one side right there and a piece of tape on the other side over there, and that makes this piece, it makes it a little bit more strong, and it kind of softens up that wrinkle and makes it a little bit more sturdy back again. So yeah, I did that mainly on this horizontal stabilizer here, and then on the vertical stabilizer rudder section. The only real main thing I had to add was this popsicle stick piece, kind of to make sure the tail wheel was moving with the rudder, because that would rip off when I did my first initial flights with this plane. And I also took some electrical tape right there that kind of matches and made a little hinge because that came off as well. But other than that, we also basically just used some foam safe CA on there and tacked it in, and I went ahead and put a little bit of hot glue in the cracks just because obviously hot glue is flexible and CA is not, so it'll take a larger beating even though hot glue is a little bit more heavy. Anyway, the next thing I want to address is this wing. You can see it's looking a lot better from the unboxing video. Basically, all I did here was I went ahead and took my Dremel, so I have my Dremel right here. I had a sanding drum kit and I just went back and forth on it right there, and that helped a lot. It basically smoothed it out. Of course, it doesn't really look any better at the moment, but it's going to make it fly a lot better, and obviously took away a lot of the weight. I did the same thing on the bottom. I kind of got into the paint there, and these kind of areas in the crack section were a lot harder to reach. So some of them just didn't really work out. But I also took off the fuselage here. You can see the tape on the fuselage of this plane where I re-taped it, and I inspected all the electronics, the propeller, and the motor shaft. It was kind of surprising to see that there was such a high angle of down thrust right there. You can see that, but that's actually how the Champ is designed. It flies great just as it is, so that's good. I never really reinstalled the spinner on front of the prop. I think it's just a weight saving thing that I'm not really going to reinstall that because then I have to add more glue and weight and things like that, so that I really don't want to do. So other than that, that's pretty much it on this plane. Fuselage, wings, tail, and we're good to go. This thing is completely functional. I'm gonna go grab my battery right here. It's charging over here on the charger. I think we're ready to go out for a flight. Alright guys, so we're out here in my backyard for the first flight on the channel with the HobbyZone Champ. There is a lawn mowing service happening over at the neighbor's yard, so hopefully we don't get this thing chopped up in their mower. But either way, if it's loud, I'm sorry. We're just gonna go ahead and throw it up in the air. I took off the FPV gear, and it's a pretty agile flying airplane. It does these tight little funnels, and it really flies well. Yeah, this thing is, I was just flying with the FPV stuff just to see if it would fly with the weight, and I'm happy to say that it flies a lot better without, as expected, but it does fly with the weight and handles it pretty well actually. You can see it's quite aerobatic. I actually did go ahead and adjust my rates both on the plane and in my transmitter. But it flies really well. It's actually, moderately fast. But being a UMX plane, it's kind of expected from this thing. It's kind of, all up in the air and kind of tends to rock back and forth when you want to do an S turn or switch between turning left and turning right. Like you can see right there, it's a little bit delayed, and that's what you kind of get with a experience from one of these 3-channel airplanes. However, it's super smooth. Super smooth on the control with this rudder and elevator mixing together. There is no gyro or anything like that on this system at all, but it does, it handles it, and there is dihedral on here, so it will write it out for you. So yeah, it's flying really nicely, nice and smooth. Obviously very quiet, and I'm sorry about that mowing going on over there, but as you can see, it's making this small backyard feel like quite the flying spot. And there is a little bit of a breeze, but I mean, it gets a little knocked around just because of the unsteady air coming out of the trees right there. But I mean, other than that, seriously, it's flying great. You see, maybe we got some trimming going on over there now. It might be a little bit louder, but yeah, it's such a stable plane, and I can see why this is marketed for beginner planes. However, if you guys are looking to get this plane, please do not fly it in your small backyard with power lines and trees everywhere and roofs and a lot of other obstacles. Take it out to a park like I normally do with all my other videos, because you will have a lot better of an experience. I've already crashed this thing a few times just because I wasn't able to, you know, get completely maneuvered around. But seriously, this thing is on rails for a little small 3-channel micro, especially in this 5-mile-per-hour wind right here that we're experiencing. And it's a little bit all over the place, but still has plenty of power, and it's flying very nicely, and it doesn't really need any trim at all. I just, you know, had to, of course, get it started out. But I mean, straight out of the box, even beaten up, this thing is flying probably just like it did new. The only thing that's really affecting the flight performance is the prop on here. That's why you hear a different sound. Power's a little bit less smooth, but yeah, I mean, it still flies fine, and unless I totally break the prop, I'm not gonna go ahead and, you know, fork over the $5 to $10 for a new prop, because that's the one thing about this, is that it's kind of expensive to get replacement parts. It's not just like a standard APC or Gemfan prop. And there's the wind draft over there. When you go back from behind the trees, you saw I had a pretty close call where I was inverted about 20 feet up. And yeah, there are some more, you know, turbulent areas up high, like right there, just trying to bring it back. And it's an interesting experience, flying almost backwards there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in for a landing, because this thing is not appreciating that. There she is. And of course, these wheels are not gonna work on the grass, so that's why there's probably this from the past owner, because he tried to land it on the asphalt or whatever. But I'm not totally sure. If you guys are starting out and you don't want this to happen to you, please go ahead and practice all your landings. Just dump it into the grass, because this is only from hard surfaces. Obviously, grass will not do that. So yeah, that's it for the Champ, my very first flight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoy flying this, especially in my small backyard. There's lots of obstacles, stuff like that. Stay tuned for some FPV content coming soon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.